Hello Reavers fans, it's me Pete and I'm here to give you another deck video, and this week is Khorne. It's Garrek to be specific. He's out of the bag again. He's been doing very well recently for me, so I'm going to try my luck with him, and I'm up against the Eyes. Now don't forget, we always try and make our decks tournament specific, so a bit more generic and not up against specific individuals. And to prove that, I am taking the same deck almost that I took against Averron's Cursebreakers. Now I've made a couple of small changes here, and they're not because I'm coming up against the Eyes instead of the Cursebreakers. Basically, it's just what you do when you come up with a deck. You find some cards just aren't as good as others, you take some out, you add some in, you win some, you lose some. So this is the deck that I now have. I have not made a single change to my objectives, so I'm going to run through those a little bit quicker than normal, and then I'll move on to the other cards that I've picked. So for my objectives, what have I got? I've got Blood for the Blood God. I think this is a given for Garrek and his boys. It's a real easy one to score. You've just got to make 3 charges. They haven't got to be successful. You've just got to make 3 of them. I'm up for doing that. And It Begins, which is have 1 person from each warband dead. Not too hard to pull off, especially against the Eyes. I've then got Advancing Strike, instant score, very nice indeed. Kill someone in my opponent's half, I can do that. And then Alone in the Darkness, probably one of my most Gambity style cards. I have got a few things in it to help move me around, so hopefully if I get Alone in the Darkness I can pull that off. I've then got Change of Tactics, score immediately if I make an attack with someone who's on guard. But that's a nice mid-turn glory again, like Advancing Strike, and it doesn't require much, just go on guard first and then charge. I then got Conquest, which is my 3rd end phase card here. 2 Glory, which is always nice, and just get everybody into Robin's side, which is pretty much what I'm going to be going for because I'm going after his skulls. I've then got Making a Statement. This was the trick in this deck. I have Desecrate as well, and I'm hoping with that and Making a Statement I can pull off a 3 Glory objective at some point, but we'll have to see how I get on. I then got Ploy Master, play 3 ploys. It should be pretty easy, and Robin can't do a lot to stop that. And then Precise Use of Force, another instant score, and it's kill someone and do exactly the right amount of damage. I'm pretty happy with being able to do that. I've got a good range of damage across my guys. I then got Supremacy, which should be fairly easy for me to pull off with my speed should the need arise. Extreme Flank, which is stand on 2 opposite edges. Again, I reckon I can pull that off with my speed. And then What Armor, which is another score immediately for friendly fighters. Attack with Cleave succeeds. Now Sag has Cleave, and I do also have the Mutating Mode here to give me another Cleave option. I took out the 3rd Cleave option I had, which was Butcher's Eye, because I think that was possibly a bit overkill. I'm not sure Butcher's Eye is that great. So those are my objectives. I reckon these will do good against pretty much anyone. I've got 1 3rd end phase card in there. I've got 5 instant scores for that mid-turn glory, which I should be able to rack up even easier against the Eyes than I could against the Stormcast posse. So what am I going to use to help me score that glorious glory? Well, these are my gambits. Now I took out Spores of Battle because I figured, you know what, I'm probably going to have enough glory knocking around that I don't need that card, and I've put 2 cards in its place. The first one being Skulls for the Skull Throne, which is a reaction. After I kill someone, I can draw 2 more power cards. I also have Jewel of Wits in this deck, so that should hopefully help me build up loads of cards, which I do like doing. It helps me burn through my deck, get as many of my cards out, use as many of my cards as possible, and helps me hopefully get some really nice combos out. The more cards you've got in your hand, the more options you have. And I also took Last Chance. I think this is a great card to take in any deck where you have dodge as your main defense. It's a reaction. You play it when one of your fighters is going to be killed. You roll a defense dice, and if the defense dice isn't successful, so if you roll dodges normally, then as long as it's not a dodge or a crit, because those would both be successful, then you ignore the damage. You can still be pushed back, but you ignore the damage, and that's a 2/3 chance of not dying. I do like that card a lot. I will probably take it in most of my dodgy decks from now on. And the other cards I took were Desecrate, which will help me hopefully score Making a Statement. I have Final Blow, which is if Robin kills one of my guys, I can then do 1 damage back to them. Insensate, which is the first friendly fighter who suffers any amount of damage can only suffer 1. That does stop Robin being able to play cards like Pit Trap, Twist the Knife, things like that, and it just makes one of my guys a little bit more survivable. Also means if Robin wants to try and double shot someone with a ready for action, he's not going to be able to if I've got that card in play. And then I have Khorne Calls, roll an extra dice for my next attack. I couldn't decide whether to take that or Blood Offering. Blood Offering does take 1 wound off my guys, but gives me 2 dice. This is just 1 dice, and I think I'd rather take the slightly less good card that has no drawbacks. I then also have for my non-faction specific cards Distraction, always handy being able to shove one of Robin's guys out of the way. And Fueled by Fury, which allows me to reroll any attack dice I make in the next attack activation, very handy if I happen to roll absolute tosh. Inspiration Strikes, now I do still have that because even though I might find it a bit easier to inspire against Robin, it's much more useful against people like Stormcast and the other 3-person warbands out there. And this is a deck I would take to a tournament, so therefore I've got it in there. Very handy to empower Seg early on, get to charge in and one-shot some of the tougher guys. And Quick Advance. Being able to move 2 of my guys at once is really good, and I think Quick Advance is going to be one of those new cards that everybody has in a lot of their decks because it's really powerful. So there's my gambits. Once I've won that glorious glory, what am I going to buy with it? Well, these are my upgrades. I've got Blood Slick, +1 defense on Garrek is never to be sniffed at. It's very hard to get a lot of defense dice in this game, and Garrek's boys do suffer a little, which is why I've got that. And then Frenzy, which is roll another attack dice when a fighter makes a charge. Very handy for beefing up Garrek or Seg before making a very important charge move, possibly with Khorne calls chucked into the mix. I then got Acrobatic, roll an extra defense dice. I'd probably put that on Seg if I've got that out. Blood Slick has already gone on Garrek. Concealed Weapon. I can roll a lot of dice around here, more chance of crits, +2 damage for a roll a crit. That would be very nice. Deathly Fortitude, -2 move, +2 wounds. Never going to say no to that one. The next card I've got is Flickering Image, and this is one of the new ones that I took. If I roll a crit, then I can move my fighter up to 2 hexes afterwards. Could be very handy in those special situations where I do roll a crit to run in, slap someone with my axe, and then run away again. I'm taking it for the same reason as Concealed Weapon. Hopefully I'll roll a lot more dice, gives me much more chance of rolling a crit. Run in, stab, run away, don't die. That's the plan anyway. Then Great Fortitude, +1 wound is never a bad thing, and that is the other additional card I've added into this deck after taking out the previous card, which was Butcher's Eye. Then Great Strength, +1 damage on all of my guys. No one has a range of 3 in this party. I'm more than happy to have +1 damage wherever I can get it. Very useful. And then Light Armour, another extra dice for my attack, but I can't use my crits for defense. Now Light Armour combined with Last Chance could be very handy because a crit doesn't count. Therefore, surely Last Chance means that I only have to not roll a dodge. That makes my guy even more survivable. I've then got the Fameway Crystal, which could be very handy if I'm going for supremacy or making a statement, or just to get someone away from Robin, maybe even to try and score Extreme Flank. And the last one is Mutating Mode. This is a great card, and I think it goes perfectly in a lot of more underpowered warbands like your Goblins, your Sepulchral Guard, even Garrek and some of his guys, Targor and Arnold for example. It's 2 hammers and it's 2 damage, which is very handy, and it has cleave or knockback depending on how you want to roll with it. Obviously I'll be using the cleave in this situation to help me with what armour where I can, but you never know, maybe I'll need the knockback at some point. So that's my deck. Not a lot of changes going on in there at all. 1 gambit, 1 upgrade removed, 2 gambits and 2 upgrades added. No change on the objectives. I think this is a solid deck. I do like it. I think it plays quite nicely. It can be very offensive when I need it to be, and it can generate a lot of glory quickly if I'm lucky. So we'll see how it fares against those tricksy Tzeentchian horrors and Vortimus. Let me know if there's any cards that I'm missing from this deck that you would always take with Garrek and his boys, or if there are any cards in here that you really would shy away from. I'm not 100% sure about Flickering Image. There's possibly better upgrades to take, but I'm just not really that sure what it is I'd want to take. A lot of the really good ones are obviously restricted, and I am at my 5 maximum because we are always using the bar list. So let me know, what do you think? Do you think I'm going to romp home to victory? Will Khorne slay Tzeentch today? Or will Tzeentch have his nefarious way? We shall see. Bye!